This category is the Book of the Year for younger readers. And when I read out the names of the authors and illustrators and also the publishers, please feel free to come up, all those groups of people. So we have a slightly crowded stage, but that's really great to see you up here. So reading through the list, the first book on the short list is The Simple Things. Bill Condon is the author and Beth Norling illustrator, Alan and Unwin. And I skipped ahead one. Two Wolves by Tristan Bancks, Random House Australia. The Cleo Stories, The Necklace and the Present, Libby Gleeson, and illustrated by Freya Blackwood, Alan and Unwin. Bleakboy and Hunter, Stand Out in the Rain by Stephen Herrick, University of Queensland Press. Figgy in the World by Tasmin, Janu, Omnibus Books, Scholastic Australia. And the sixth book in this category is Withering-by-Sea, a Stella Montgomery intrigue by Judith Rossell, ABC Books, HarperCollins Publishers. Right. And the honour books are Two Wolves by Tristan Bancks, and Withering-by-Sea, a Stella Montgomery intrigue by Judith Rossell. Congratulations. They're here. So, Tristan? Oh, yes.
Thank you very much.
And Judith? Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you very much. Dropping bits of paper. The winning book in this category is by Libby Gleeson, The Cleo Stories. And illustrator Freya Blackwood. Got enough hands? There's yours, Libby. When you finish speaking. Right. Your glasses? They are. I might need them again.
Well, thank you very much, Angela, and to the CBCA. It's a terrific honour that's been given to the Cleo Stories. And, when you receive an award like this and you've been around as long as I have, you know how important it is and how hard that judging process must be. And like a lot of the work I've been doing more recently, stuff I've done for younger children, this one comes from the children I've lived with and the way that I've learned of the rich imaginations and the creative minds that little kids have. Quite a few years ago, I was a teacher trainer at the University of New South Wales, and a colleague there used to regale me with stories of her 3-year-old child, and I had no kids at that stage, and I thought that her imagination was absolutely running wild. She said he role-played all the time. I thought she was confusing him with the students that we were teaching about teacher training and so on and getting them to do role play. And how wrong I was. Because I discovered as each of my own 3 children grew and became whatever character they wanted to be to enact whatever game they were fancying. And they're a lot older now, and the imaginative play of little ones is not so evident in our place. But a few years ago, when Freya and I began working together on books, she and her daughter Ivy came to stay, and it all happened again. Ivy was about 3 or 4, and she filled our house with words and with drawing and with activities that so resembled all that earlier play stuff that my children had shown me. So it's no surprise that this book is dedicated to Ivy and to my 3 girls, Amy, Jo and Jess, who is with us here today, and to Freya too, because although story ideas come from experience and the words from who knows where, the beautiful images in the Cleo stories come from Freya. She puts emotion on the face of a child in ways that I have not seen another illustrator do. Disappointment to distress, all through to scheming and to delight. Freya, thank you so much for all the deliciousness you give the books that I write. And thank you to Alan and Unwin, to Erica and Elise, who've supported Cleo at every turn. It's an unusual format of a storybook, heavily illustrated in colour, and we think it looks beautiful. And it's got a sibling coming in a few months that looks just as beautiful. So thank you very much to Alan and Unwin for your part in bringing us to Melbourne for these celebrations. And a big thank you, of course, to the CBCA for all the time, the energy and commitment that this organisation brings to the support and the celebration of children's literature across the whole of Australia. I've been quoted many times that to get on the shortlist of this award is to win, and it is. And congratulations to everyone who's achieved that this year. But being the winner is also truly special, and I'm very grateful for that. And I know it's been said before already, this organisation is now 70 years old, and there are very few voluntary organisations that can stay this long. And that supporting an aspect of culture that's changed and a society that's changed with it. And I think the CBCA's moved with the times in examining its own structures and reimagining itself a little bit for the 21st century. And something else. I do go back quite a way, but I don't go back as far as the camellia and the handshake. I remember in my early days, though, in the middle 80s and a little bit later, the effort to find sponsors and the despair when sponsors pulled out. And I think thanks so much to the CBCA Foundation and the efforts of Margaret Hamilton and her co-conspirator June Smith, who set it up and who came and so imaginatively and creatively raised that $1 million. We all owe you enormous gratitude, and I really mean it, because inside all this there's also a little bit of do-re-mi. Thank you, finally, to my husband Ewan, whose own creativity has been something I've shared for a long time. I reckon a person who gets a partner who complements the crazy ideas they have themselves and sticks with it till a book emerges in the end is a lucky woman indeed. Thank you all.
Sorry, I'm feeling a little overwhelmed today. Firstly, thank you. Thank you to the CBCA. I think my decision to make the 64 pages of Cleo colour seemed a bit foolish at the time, because 64 pages is a lot longer than 32 pages. But in actual fact, I think it's that relationship in the Cleo stories, that relationship between the text and illustrations that makes the book really work for a range of readers. I've heard from parents, people say, oh, you know, their new reader can read this book to their younger child who enjoys all those illustrations. And I'd like to thank, I'd like to extend my sincere thanks to Sandra at Allen and Unwin for her incredible design work on the Cleo stories and for creating such a perfect solution for the design, for the title design. She'll understand what I mean there, thank you. A lot of my daughter Ivy found her way into Cleo, as Libby said before. She has zany creations. She's had an obsession with ears for quite a few years, all sorts of different ears. Giraffe ears, rabbit ears, cheetah ears, tails. And she also had, like Libby has shown in her Cleo book, that she has this fabulous ability to come up with solutions for problems. I've gone into her playroom and found an iPad drawn on paper. So this is a lovely reminder of Ivy for me. And thank you to my dear Ivy Skivey for being very, very cool. And it's my first time working with Erica, and everyone knows Erica, I know. And it was my first time working with Elise Jones. And I don't know if everyone knows Elise, but she's just down here. And I had such a lovely experience working with them, and Elise is an absolute gem, and she was very good at gently coercing me into doing a huge amount of work. And she's got lots of good medical advice. And thank you, Libby. Sorry, I'll stop very quickly soon. And thank you for entrusting me with another one of your really personal stories. I feel really honoured that I've been given that privilege. So thank you, Libby, and thank you.